This digital products newbie is crushing it in Etsy sales, and it's a skill that anyone can learn. Let's see how. Hi, I'm Jess. I've built multiple 6- and 7-figure Etsy stores in various niches, getting sales like these, and learning the ins and outs of Etsy, Amazon, and more. A wild and crazy event led me to start a totally new life traveling abroad, giving me the unique opportunity to step back, work a lot less, and start sharing all of my Etsy insights with you. So hit that subscribe button, grab a pen and paper, and let's jump in. Hey guys, thanks for coming back to another Insights by Just video. I really wanted to showcase this particular store for you guys because I've seen so many of you who have such amazing artistic skills and even more of you who are open to learning new skills like these. And this store makes a great example of building a passive income source out of their unique artistic talents. And anyone can learn how to do this. In fact, I have a great YouTube tutorial that I think really explains it so well, breaks down the whole process, and I'm going to share that with you guys. Before we dive into all of that, however, let's take a look at their Etsy store stats. So this store is actually based in Austria, which I also love. I love being able to showcase stores from all around the world, especially as an American who is no longer in America. I just think we are living in such a cool day and age where you can live anywhere and you can create a business and support yourself using Etsy from literally anywhere. So that's super cool. This I actually found with Allura. So Allura actually reached out to me about a week ago and told me all about their platform. It's really cool. I have been so impressed so far. I kind of compare them as if eRank and Everbee had a baby. That's what this reminds me of. It has a lot of great features, a lot of search features. You can see keywords, you can see winning products. They have tips for you to increase your listings, lots of really cool stuff. I found this store that we're going over actually in their research dashboard. And it's really cool because you can look up products based on pretty much any filter you want. You can look them up by store name, by type of product, by listing, etc. So when I was looking for fun new stores to show you guys for these videos, this was the tool that I actually used. And one thing that I found was that their income estimates and sales estimates were a little bit more up to date than what I had been finding on Everbee. However, the really cool thing that caught my attention when Allura reached out to me is that it's more affordable than Everbee. So I love Everbee. It is a great service, a great platform with lots of features, but to unlock all of the features, it is $30 a month. And for brand new sellers on Etsy, that can be a little cost prohibitive. So I loved that Allura has a free plan, and then to unlock all of their features, it is only $10 a month, which is just way more affordable. Anyhow, I don't want to ramble on too long, but I did want to share this with you guys because it is really cool, and I do have an affiliate link down below if you want to check it out. Let's get back to the point here and talk about their Etsy sales stats of this particular store. So this store actually has 27,000, just over 27,000 sales. And if we scroll through their listings here, they have a pretty great price point. They do have some big bundles that are coming in higher at, this one's 13, this one's almost 7. But their average product price here is about $3.15. And you can see a lot of these right now are $3.85. And that's just because they changed the sale that they had. When I originally outlined this video, the sale was a little bit better, probably for Black Friday maybe. And it was actually $3.19 instead of $3.85. So because y'all know I am super conservative when I give you these estimates, and I really do try to be as realistic as possible, we're keeping that number at $3.19 for their average listing price. If you want to assume they're making more, go right ahead, but we're going to do worst case scenario. If we look at how long they've been selling here, this is going to be fun. You guys are going to be so surprised. I'm going to go to their very last page, and you're going to see that the first feedback actually pops up here on February 24th of 2023. They just actually passed their ninth month, right, in business. And Hopefully that math is correct. I definitely need more coffee today, but I'm pretty sure we just dipped into December, so we're looking at about 9 months here. Given the fact that they have already, in that 9 months period of time, accumulated 27,000 sales, they have, at a $3.19 price point, so far made approximately $86,300 so far in that 9 months period of time. If their sales stay in this trajectory, even if, they don't grow any further and it just stays steady, that would put their 1-year approximate annual revenue at $115,000. But this store is growing like crazy, so it's pretty likely that they're going to surpass that number. In fact, I can't wait to see when March rolls around what this ends up being, because these are impressive numbers. Don't abandon this video to go learn digital painting just yet, because I want to show you what they're doing to capture so many sales. Why are they getting so much attention? Why are they growing so quickly? There are a few core things that you need to be successful on Etsy. One, you need great products that people want to buy, of course. And for some of us, that takes a few tries. I know when I first started my OG Etsy store back in like 2009, I had to trial and error a little bit and find something people wanted to actually give me their money for. But once you find your great idea, you have so much potential to grow. So you need great products. That's number one. Number two is you need great images to show off those amazing products. Number three is that you need a well-planned SEO strategy, and I have a cheat sheet for free that you can go grab from my resources section down below, and I have a in-depth SEO planner if you want to spend money to get the full SEO breakdown to build a strategy for your specific niche. The link for that is down below as well. The fourth thing that you need to be successful on Etsy, however, is patience and perseverance. And that fourth thing is usually what gets you. It is hard to wait for results, especially if it can take 4 to 6 weeks to get into the Etsy algorithm. A lot of us get frustrated before that when we're putting in that work and it's taking weeks or maybe even months to see some sales start rolling in. So I've got some great tips for new sellers who want to get those first few sales. I will put the card for that video at the top here. But let's see how this particular seller is taking those 4 things and really implementing them to build a great store for herself. We're going to look at her best sellers first. Like many sellers this time of year, we are seeing a big peak in seasonal listings. So she has lots of seasonal bestsellers. Some of these are insanely popular, as you can see, and they are really killing it in terms of bringing in some money. But y'all know I like to keep these videos evergreen, so we are actually going to look at this one. This is a relatively new listing, and it is in 20 people's carts already. So once this crazy Christmas rush is over, we're going to probably see this get a bestseller tag, maybe even before then. If y'all are watching this video and you notice that she has a bestseller tag, comment below so we can all celebrate this seller and how amazing they are growing. So the first thing I want to point out about this particular listing that this seller is doing really well is her video. And I love videos because it's so much potential to really showcase people's products. This is a great video. It's super simple. This is an image that has motion added to it. This is another image that is just going to the side, and then she caps it all off with some beautiful feedback from customers. So a very simple, very short video that shows the quality of her artwork and how easy it is to download. These customers are happy. So you don't have to put a lot of effort into building a great video. And in fact, I have a video coming up in a couple of weeks that is going to show you a super easy way to make killer Etsy listing videos. So stay tuned for that. If you're not subscribed to my channel, go subscribe right now, because believe it or not, only about 40-something% of you are subscribed to my channel. That means 65% of you are missing out on new videos and new updates and new tips, posts, and all the great stuff that I'm putting out. You may not even be seeing it. So click that subscribe button so you don't miss anything great. While you're down there, you can give this video a like as well. That really helps me grow. Anywho, Her other images are well done, and you can see that she's trying really hard to capture the quality of her art while also imparting some information. She has a sale advertised here, another really nice mock-up, and keep in mind that these images here, these kind of mock-ups, they match the vibe and aesthetic of her artwork, so she is keeping it really uniform, and the image really does match the type of decor that people are probably going for when they think about buying this art and putting it up in their home. So that was really well thought out. And then another mock-up, very simple, and a sizing guide. This is very important if you're doing digital art. You want to give people some way to reference in their head how big sizes are. So this is a very nice way to represent lots of different size files here. And she has a sofa for reference down here. So very, very clever. She does have some great infographics and everything is really well explained, I feel like. And she is really trying hard to showcase the quality of the artwork. And speaking of this gorgeous art, let's talk about that YouTube tutorial that I mentioned before. So there's actually 2 tutorials, and I will link them both below for you. But the first one here I love because it breaks it down into really basic principles. And I'm not a great artist by any means, but I have been learning, or attempting to learn anyways, how to do oil painting. So it's a lot more challenging than I thought when you have to break down the simple shapes and things like that, and oil paints are a whole mess, so that's like a whole nother thing. But digital painting, when I was watching this tutorial, it really clarified for me a lot of those basic principles involved in just painting in general. Any kind of painting, whatever you're using for your medium, just in terms of looking at the shapes and looking at how to format your canvas, I guess, if it's a digital canvas, and really lay out all the shapes on the canvas that you're using and just start from ground zero and learn all the things you need to learn. It was super basic and I really loved how they broke it down so I could understand it, and it was kind of mind-blowing actually. And then the other one I like because they have a whole series. So this second YouTuber, they have a bunch of different painting tutorials for digital painting. So if you're wanting to learn something specific, you can definitely jump through the content and find what you want to learn about. And it's just really detailed. So the first one I love because it breaks it down for you for newbies. It's perfect. And the second one I love because it really lets you learn lots of different things, especially if you want to know something specific. Okay, so let's talk about this seller's SEO. So coming back to this evergreen listing here, if we look at this seller's title here, you can see that she's really covering as many words as she can, and the emphasis in terms of repetition is really focusing on art print, art digital download. It does say oil painting, even though it's digital, that's the painting style, is the oil painting. And there's a lot of variety in terms of using words like wildflower, country, farmhouse. We do see landscape twice here. And then A34 is a size, and that is a size that's used like in Europe and UK. So she really is trying to cover a wide variety of search terms with the farmhouse, the wildflower, etc., because this is not a huge niche. And I've talked about in a couple videos lately, which is not intentional by any means. I think it's just working out that way when I pick these stores. But when you do have a small niche, you have to have a different strategy in terms of how you do your SEO than if you have a really big niche, because the competition levels of search terms is different and the potential visibility of the search terms is different. And I do really go into depth in my SEO strategy guide on that. But you want to keep in mind your particular niche size when you are creating your listings and picking your keywords. So keep that in mind as well. So this seller really is trying to cover as many search terms as she can to get more potential views on her items. And if we go down to her appeal statement here, we can see she's right off the bat got the important stuff in a very, very short, to the point little statement here that it is printable art, 300 dpi resolution for a high quality print. And this is important because she does not want anybody to get confused and think that they are ordering an actual painting and not a digital printable art. So that's very clever. And then it doesn't waste too much space, so she can still get this great appeal statement into her SEO. And then she has her other words in here like antique, rustic, landscape painting, etc. So nature, farmhouse, all of these important keywords are added into these sentences in a very appealing and lovely way that just pulls your attention to these words like beautiful, beauty, springtime, etc. And of course, these are the same kinds of words that she's using in her title. And I do stress in a lot of my videos that you want to have that repetition. And when I'm saying repetition, just to be clear, I did put this in my most recent newsletter, but just in case you missed that or you're not on my newsletter yet, let me clarify it here too. When I'm talking about repetition, I want to make clear that you should be choosing, in my opinion, and we all have different opinions, so please keep in mind that this is my particular way of doing things. I try to advise that you choose 2 or 3 of your most important keywords. So the words that you put in your title, those are all keywords, and a lot of those are going to also be the tags that you choose for your Etsy listing. So in your title, in the beginning part of your listing description and in your tags, you want to repeat those 2 or 3 main keywords. And if you want to add more repetition and have them in your title more than once, you can definitely do that. And a lot of data does support the idea of having those important keywords in your title more than once. And when I built my SEO strategy, we did review 1,000 different Etsy bestseller listings. So we were able to look at a lot of patterns and correlations that we found amongst these listings that made them similar to one another, and having certain keywords appear in your title on average twice did seem to be very common among bestseller listings. However, I also would suggest not repeating any specific word more than 3 times. So if you see here, she has art in here twice. She has landscape in here twice. She has print and printable. These are very, very similar, but they're not the exact same. So you can go ahead and add similar words in here, but you don't want to be too repetitive. And of course, again, this is just my opinion. But keep those main 2 words or 3 words, depending on how long they are, in your title, in your description, and down in your tags. So if we jump down to her tags here, you're going to see some of these same words. So we can see landscape, we see vintage, we see wildflower print, we see field, we see vintage art, downloadable print, and then we see farmhouse print, cottage art, nature painting, and some other things as well. Of course, printable wall art is the very first one. And keep in mind that these are not necessarily the tags that they're putting in. Some of these are going to be their tags that the seller chooses, and some of these are going to be related search terms that Etsy has found to be relevant to this listing. So this section here can really help us when we're choosing our own keywords to see what is working. So always look at your competitor listings and see what's popping up for their related searches section. You want to use what is working. And so if all of your top competitors are using a particular strategy or a certain pattern of how they're structuring their titles and their tags and their description and all of that good stuff, you want to keep in mind that doing something similar is probably also going to work for you. Stick to what works. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. So that is a really important part of your Etsy research as well. No matter what all the YouTubers are telling you, including myself, if what I'm telling you isn't matching what you're seeing the top sellers on Etsy doing, go with what works. Go with what your competitors are doing, because obviously they're getting sales, and that is what your goal is to get sales. So rely on your own research as well. That is the most important part of building your SEO strategy. So to dig even deeper into some tips that can really boost your visibility in small niches, make sure you check out this video next.